biographies about famous naval characters. So go figure how I ended up where I am today. And like our speech, it was on the first cabinet, second row down, on the bottom, about in the middle, and I knew exactly where that book was. While I didn't maintain ownership of the book, I would check it out periodically to read through the biographies of famous naval heroes, such as Perry, the battles of Lake Champlain, the Niagara, the battles for Manila Bay, and that was my favorite book as a child. And the reason I liked that book was it was full of action and people who were bigger than life. The naval heroes that had made our country and their battles. And as you read the book, even though it was written for somebody in, say, the 6th grade, you could hear the cannons going off and smell the gunpowder on the deck and get a sense of the tension of these men fighting their ships at sea. So that was my favorite book growing up as a child, and I dare say it did have a profound influence on the course I have chosen through life. Thank you.
Ali, you and your wife brought a gift for Paul today.
Right.
Could you tell us
What's inside?
about what's inside? Right.
Okay, honey. Actually, we worked a lot to find this kind of gift for Paul. I first met with Paul just for last week, so we didn't know anything else about Paul and her wife, his wife, and their children. I'm sorry. And from yesterday evening, we went some shopping to find something else. Actually, you told to find some old books or the second-hand books to read for your children, but we thought that it was the baby was newborn, so we have to find some clothes to wear for the baby. So, and we bought some clothes for the baby, but it's for the new baby born. Actually, we don't know your situation about the baby. And we first apologize for the unknown, something missing with you in our brain, in our mind. So actually, we had to call somebody else here to learn your situation. That was our job, but we didn't do that. So I and my wife apologize for that. But we're going to change it for you. Actually, for your baby. If you change it for you, much bigger than that. And you want to open it or?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think
I knew the baby will open it. All right.
At the start of the meeting.
And that's the story behind this package. I think the baby will like it, and you're going to like it. So because we like it with my wife, and we didn't have such books here in our apartment or in our home to read for the baby, and we didn't have, we didn't read the books that you read while you were a child. We read some Turkish books in our childhood period, so we thought that this is a better gift for you, and I think enjoy after we change it.
Ali and Zainab, we have an expression in English. It's the thought that counts. And it was such a gracious thought that the two of you had, and that's the important thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nusrat,
Yeah.
could you please open the gift you have for Paul and tell us about this book?
Okay. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The book Fritz and the Beautiful Horses, written by Jan Breth. Actually, I can say myself that I am illiterate about the children literature because I spend my time, my childhood, generally wasting your time outside. My parents forced me to read something, but I always put myself to the out and spend my leisure time playing with my friends outside. But it doesn't mean that I have a great imaginary world, and I can imagine what is inside. It's easy for me because the horse, I don't know exactly the Fritz's name, but I can try to say what is inside of this book. I think this book is about, the story comes from two children who has two horses, one baby horse and I think it's about their voyage, or they're experiencing something while driving their horse, while riding their horses, and how can I add? Maybe they are traveling with their world. It's short, but time's up. Thank you.
Carl, you have brought along a very interestingly wrapped package. Could you open it and tell us about it?
Well, I can indeed. I wrapped it, Madam Table Topics Chairman, with the idea that someone else would unwrap it. So it feels a little awkward unwrapping. You know, I really made this hard to unwrap, so now I'm paying a price. This is actually a book that I had in my childhood. With many other books from the same company or series, actually. And the series is Little Golden Books. I don't know if they still have Little Golden Books. You know, I don't buy them anymore, so I don't really know. This particular one is about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and with Christmas coming up, I'm sure that Caitlin will be anxious to know about Rudolph. I don't know if Rudolph ever gets to China, but I suspect that probably not, and this will be the first time for her. Now,
That's where all the elves are.
yeah, that's right, China. Yeah, you're right about that. Now, this is not the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is actually a story about Rudolph. So it tells the story. It's not Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer kind of thing. Now, this series of books, actually there was a question you asked earlier, Madam Topics Chair, about favorite childhood book. And another Little Golden book that I had in my youth was my favorite. It was called Scuffy the Tugboat. And Arnie remembers, because he's old like me. Scuffy the Tugboat was this little tugboat that just had trouble getting going, and it did everything he could to overcome adversity, and went down this river bigger and bigger and bigger, and he finally got overwhelmed because the river got so big for the tugboat. He floated out to sea, and then he ran ashore, and some little kid picked him up, and he was happy. And that's what I remember about that. And this has actually a better story, Paul. So.
Two lovely looking bags of gifts there on the table. I think from Michelle and Brian, is that right? Could you please tell us what you think is in the big red bag?
Thank you, Madam Table. The big red bag is filled with books. there's several different books, and the reason they're in this bag is to assure that Caitlin is not an illiterate person. And these are books that you found very joyful. But I'm telling a story. So you, man, Table Topics, did find it. And if they were your books, you would have found them, and your daughter would have found them very joyful, because they're about politics set in the future. And they're set in the year 2010, when crazy things happen and strange people get on television and say very strange things to each other. Clearly people who are illiterate. And then pundits get up and evaluate them and talk about what they said or didn't say. And by putting all of these things in this bag, your daughter had a chance to grow up very fast. Thank you.